Hello everyone, and I'm back again. This time I'm playing Battlefield Hardline on the Xbox One, well, specifically the Xbox Series X. And I wanted to pop back into this game because I wanted to complete the base multiplayer achievements, as there are a handful. Get 25 kills with a double barrel shotgun, get 10 with the MAC-10, get 5 wins in heist and blood money, and so on and so forth. And it prompted me to explore the basic game and just see if there's anyone still playing, because I mean, my only experiences with this game was picking it up way back in 2016, which is still scary that that was 10 years ago, but it is. And I completed the single player campaign on the highest difficulty. The achievements themselves are dated like January 7, and it's kind of freaky that I remember those days very specifically. Like, I remember what I was doing on those days. But anyway, and one thing I do remember from that was that I went online and there was barely anyone playing. I think there was barely a server or two full in Australia, and of course with these shooters, they're ping heavy, so you need to be able to play somewhat locally to be able to get a good experience. And unfortunately that wasn't to be, so I gave up. But this time around, like I did with Battlefield 4 at the start of last year, I wanted to go through the achievements for those games, and here I am playing Battlefield Hardline. And I'm not going to do the DLC for this game like I did for Battlefield 4, because one of the achievements for Battlefield Hardline, sorry, not Battlefield 4, Battlefield 4 on my mind, was to do 10,000 kills with each of the 4 classes. And it didn't retroactively count. It came out 3 months after the game launched, and it didn't retroactively count. So I presume that would have been a gargantuan task for a lot of people. I honestly commend anyone that is doing it. I know some achievement hunters who are doing it now, and I've got to admit that it is absolutely crazy that that they're doing that. It's just the dedication, really. And there's not as many achievement hunters out there as there once was. I mean, I've already been in it myself for the last 5 years, but it's in a positive way prompted me to go back to these older games and enjoy them in their last moments, because there's still small communities there fledgling, and that's a lot of that has been reflective of what I've been doing with my YouTube channel since reviving it, really, is going back through those old games and reminiscing on them, or talking about shared experiences. And while my memories of this game aren't as extensive as, say, Battlefield 4, 3, or even 5, really, or literally any other Battlefield that's not Bad Company 1, I barely played Bad Company 1, it's still nice to just go back through these games and enjoy them in their final moments for their experiences. Like, this is, there's no faffing about, there's no people just trying to be sweaty at max level and just laser everyone using bad things. It's just people just enjoying the game for what it is. And I really appreciate that. It's a weird one, though, because the game hasn't aged very well visually. Like a lot of games from 2015 and 2016, I feel like have aged quite well visually, especially in context of the really underpowered Xbox One and PlayStation 4 CPUs. I know the GPU in the PlayStation 4 was quite a bit better than the Xbox One, but in the scheme of things, like the the visual makeup of this game on Xbox One is not that great. Like, it's running at 900p, if I remember correctly. It's running at 60 FPS, and it largely held that on Xbox One back in the day from memory. But playing it on Series X, it's a lock 60, but it's just the game looks very smeary and very washed out a little bit. I actually think that the recordings of this game actually do it a little bit of justice, actually. But yeah, subsequently, because there aren't that many people playing this game anymore, I am playing on a West US server, which is actually the lesser of the two evils when it comes to US servers, because the East Coast is just a bit farther away from the West Coast for us. I mean, especially as I am, an Australian on the East Coast of the country, or technically the Southern Coast. Technically, I'm from Melbourne, so I guess it's the Southern, but it's on the Eastern Seaboard, really, so the server latency is about 100, 120, so it's not so bad. It's on the threshold of playable. I mean, I've had fun games playing Battlefield 4 on West US servers, so I had fun playing it on here as well. And this is, of course, the heist mode, and it's not really one that I've played before, actually, so it's a rather unique take for me, and it was quite fun. Like, it wasn't anything that was, like, super memorable in the scheme of things. It was largely just rush with cash and vehicle bugs. Apparently, there's a lot of vehicular physics that are a bit wonky in this game. And I enjoyed that. It's just been fun. Again, it's just Battlefield 4 with a cops and rubber skin, and I gotta be honest, in the grand scheme of things, that's hardly a detriment to the game, really. Battlefield 4's core mechanics are absolutely fantastic. Arguably still some of the best in the entire series, the entire franchise. That being said, though, playing Battlefield 2 and playing other, Battlefield adjacent games has kind of made me want to go back and reevaluate Battlefield 6 a little bit more. because I mean, no one really knew what my impressions were in 2042, and I guess anyone at this point in the video probably isn't watching anyway, but Battlefield 2042's impressions were, I mean, at first I thought that game was completely broken, and I had some friends who kind of disagreed and were like, oh, you know, it's fine, and then the game came out and it's like, yeah, this is really just fundamentally broken, and I outright refused to touch it for years. And then I started getting back into it in about early 2023, because I had heard that, you know, the updates at that point in the game made it somewhat competent. And, you know, it was. I still comparatively didn't enjoy it compared to other games, but it ended up being a very serviceable game at best. It was the strongest 5 out of 10 I could ever give a game. Battlefield 6, on the other hand, it started a lot more positively. I thought the campaign was kind of like, oh yeah, you know, they're bringing back the old times, baby. They're bringing back Battlefield 4 campaign and bringing back the Hardline style campaign. You know, those traditional AAA jank shooter campaigns that are, you know, basic and are just more there to just provide extra content, but, you know, I still appreciate it nonetheless because they do something interesting. You know, it was fun, and then the multiplayer, I initially had enjoyed it, but then I quickly turned from enjoying it to then going, oh my god, am I getting too old for shooters? And it left me reflecting on that a bit, actually. I mean, I've been playing other games like Helldivers at the time, and I'd been enjoying those a lot more, and I've been struggling at Delta Force. So it did kind of make me go, maybe I am just too old for shooters. Keep in mind that I am, in fact, 27, so I'm definitely not too old for shooters or reactionary-based games. It's just that maybe I'm just never good at them to begin with, and I, you know, just ended up being quite shit, but, well, in the grand scheme of things, you know, it's enough time to pass for me to reevaluate it. And the most enjoyment you can get out of these shooters is when you have them a couple months after their launch period anyway, because, you know, the sweats that want to prove a point are largely gone. The community that stays is usually the most passionate part, and are usually the ones that are just kicking back and having fun. I mean, you get the sweats in modern shooters these days because everyone wants to make content out of everything, so everyone's got to be individual and exploit the game for what it is. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm maybe optimistically going into Battlefield 6 again, hoping that the game will give me similar vibes to this game, and Battlefield 4 by extension, because I just think that these games are almost identical, just with the cops and rubber skin. But alas, we'll see how it goes, and maybe if it goes well enough, I'll record a video on it. But for now, Battlefield Hardline, in its final weeks on console, it's still a fun game. I'd still go in there and play it. It's, you know, pre-crossplay, so you're at the mercy of if you play on PlayStation or on Xbox. And I'd presume a lot more people are playing on PlayStation than on Xbox, because more people are just, you know, playing on PlayStation these days than Xbox. Xbox is kind of going the way of the dodo, because every single time something good comes out from Xbox, there's always something existentially negative to come out from it, I'll say. Going by the recent sort of games showcased, you know, there's all these really cool things coming out, and it's like, oh hey, Xbox is getting exclusives again. And then Satya Nadella, is that how you say his name? I don't know. He's just like, oh, you know, Xbox needs to recuperate all the money that we put into it. And it's just like, well, shit, okay, they're getting rid of Xbox. So, classic, really. But this game will still be alive on PC for the foreseeable future, and I'd presume, like with Battlefield 3, you know, that game is still technically alive on PC still, but there are custom servers and custom third-party mods for that game now. I'd presume Battlefield 4 is probably heading in a similar direction as well. There's still a very active player base on there as well. I'd assume Hardline is going to pretty much be railroaded into that sort of thing, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all, but it's just, you know, that's just how it's going to be. That's going to be the future of Hardline. There'll be a small but dedicated community who will enjoy it for its weird offshoot and for its weird vibes. The campaign, if I have a brief footnote on the campaign, I didn't remember much of it from 10 years ago. I just remember it having a cliche plot twist. But I enjoyed the whole cops and robbers theme, because you don't really get that in shooters that often. And then yeah, that was me being absolutely terrible at the game, but hey, what do you expect when I've got high ping? I'm going to be currently going through the campaign again on hardline difficulty just to get that achievement and to get all that done, so I can be like, hey, you know, I didn't get 10,000 kills in unspecified time, but I had fun getting back in the game and keeping it alive in its final days on console, and that means more to me than spending, from what I understand, 60 hours non-stop per class to get 10,000 kills. And again, I commend the people that have done that, fair play for doing that, but I am not going to be that person. I mean, I've done some achievement grinds in the past for certain games, Battlefield 4 on 360 and Battlefield 4 on Xbox One. I mean, Xbox One was easy because people are still playing it there. but that's nothing compared to this, and I'm just happy to just play this game for what it is. You know, this is a lot of fun. Plus, I get to have a North Korean flag, which I thought was pretty funny. I did that in Battlefield 4, and I did that in a couple of Call of Duties. But yeah, that basically wraps it up, guys. I say that we're wrapping it up because you're probably wondering why is the video ending now? It's because this match ended and we lost. So yeah, that's basically gonna wrap it up here. I've just come off about 3 and a bit hours of doing achievements, achievement hunting and helping other people with achievements. So yeah, that's wrapping it up there, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.